What is up, guys? This video idea was a response or a recommendation from a subscriber, Axe of Emerald. He liked my five U.S. power metal bands that I recommended. Um, he apparently knows a lot about U.S. power metal, and apparently more bands that I've even listened to. So that's pretty cool. Um, a lot of stuff that he talks about, I haven't gotten on CD yet. He did make a big list of stuff that I did have. I just pulled out five CDs of US power metal bands. I didn't think about it too hard. I just started grabbing. And some stuff that I haven't listened to for years. I kind of want to give some more listens so I know what to say, but I just pulled out five CDs of bands that I know so well that any given time you can find me on the street and be like, "What do you think of this band?" And I could pretty much tell you, you know, really well because they're just in my blood so much because I've listened to them so many times. So, all right, so this video is for you. Let's see here. Need to make some room. Okay. My first one I want to recommend is Crimson Glory. Um this is a really cool band that I don't really know how many albums they have. I honestly only have like their first 3. This one right here is their debut, just called Crimson Glory. I would say this band really has a Queensryche type of vibe. Really good melodic high singer, very melodic guitars. Really great guitar work. I hear a lot of like really cool guitar harmonies that are just really excellent. And while we're talking about these bands, I'll pull them up on Metal Archives, and we'll talk about them from there too. Look up some reviews and stuff. Crimson Glory. I actually haven't listened to these guys in a little bit, but I like them quite a bit. Okay, so they got one, two, only 4 albums. I knew they didn't have many, but I really didn't know exactly how many. So, obviously they're U.S. power metal, but they're from Sarasota, Florida. Progressive heavy power metal. Themes, fantasy feelings. They were formed in 1983. The band was originally formed under the name Pierced Arrow in 1979 before changing name to Beowulf in 1982. This is all stuff I didn't know. So I'm learning this stuff on the fly too. And finally, Crimson Glory in 1983. Let's see. A lot of stuff about members on here. Last known lineup: Jeff Lords on bass, Dana Burnell on drums, John Drenning on guitars, and Ben Jackson on guitars. Very cool. So yeah, obviously this band is pretty well liked too. I always hear a lot of people say really great things about this band. Heck, their first album, this one right here, actually gets 94% out of 11 reviews. That's pretty good. Their second album, Transcendence, which is also very good, gets a 95. Wow. Interesting thing about the album Transcendence, believe it or not, it actually has fake drums on it. At least I'm pretty sure it does. I've been told that, and I was like, really? Because usually albums from back in the day, they can't fake it as well as they can nowadays. And even nowadays, like I can still kind of spot out fake drums. I mean, let's just be honest. Most fake drums nowadays, or drums nowadays with all the drum replacement and, the way they quantize everything, making everything right to the grid. You might as well just use a drum machine if you're going to do all that. I mean, to be honest with you. But yeah, Transcendence, fake drums, would have never have really thought about it. Someone didn't say something about it. Then their third album, Strange and Beautiful, came out in 91. That one I haven't listened to in a while. Um, then they did one in 1999, like a good 8-year gap here, called Astronomica, gets a 55%. So that's not great. Wow. So yeah, as far as I know, the first three albums are good. The first two, I would say, are a definite must. So yeah, this and Transcendence, I wouldn't pass those up. Next, I would like to talk about. Here's a band that I bought a long time ago as a blind buy. Sacred Oath. This was at a local record store in Indianapolis called Abyss Records. I did a lot of blind buys there. I bought CDs by the stacks. Once I got my paycheck when I was like, a teenager, a young adult, I would just go there the first day and spend half my check on CDs. Yeah. Well, I bought this gem right here. I had no idea what it was going to be. Honestly, a good explanation for the sound of this album is kind of like Merciful Fate, only with more of a fantasy kind of I don't know, mystical, magical type of sound in a way, in my opinion. Still pretty dark stuff, but it's got, a good high singer. There's a lot of like falsettos and a lot of cool harmonies and stuff like that with the vocals. This is just awesome. And this band actually came back later on. Here, let's look them up. Okay. Sacred Oath. Okay, so this band is from Danbury, Connecticut. They're defined as heavy, power, and even thrash metal. Huh. Maybe a few thrash moments on this album, but yeah, I wouldn't define it as so. But formed in 1985. I don't know if I said that. Okay, so this album came out in 1987, A Crystal Vision. This is a classic. I mean, I absolutely love this. And I'll admit, they came back in 2005 and did a Crystal Revision, which I think it might be a re-recording of A Crystal Vision. And then they did a bunch of albums like Darkness Visible, Sacred Oath, just a self-titled, World on Fire, Fallen, Raven Song, 12 Bells, Return of the Dragon. Man, they've been freaking busy lately. But you know what? I haven't checked out a lot of their later stuff, but what I have another Sacred Oath album. I honestly can't tell you which one it is, but I bought one of the later ones and it wasn't the same. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't really what I was hoping they'd be. So they really didn't have like their old sound. I don't know. Maybe I need to check out some more. But this right here is one of the best albums I ever bought. It's one of my top favorites. The production's not great, but honestly, I don't care. The production actually adds to the awesomeness to this. Sometimes just being raw with the right kind of music just makes a really cool atmosphere. But yeah, I don't know. Really, really cool band. I recommend that one. Their later stuff's not bad. I was just hoping for something that was a little more like a Crystal Vision, but eh. Next, Griffin. I don't know much about this band past their first two albums. This album is just okay. Yeah, this album's called Flight of the Griffin, and I think the second one's called like. Well, let's look it up. Let's look it up. Griffin. Okay, so Griffin was founded in 1982, San Francisco, California. A lot of bands from there. No surprise. Defined as power speed metal. That's fair. Themes, fantasy, and battle. Yep, about right. Okay, so yeah, they've only got two albums, so they've never done anything else that I didn't realize. Flight of the Griffin came out in '84. Gets a good 86% on reviews out of 4 reviews. That's pretty good. Protectors of the Layer is their second album. Well, this is more of a traditional heavy metal album. The second one is more of a kind of a speed power metal album, sort of. Little thrashy at times. But I like both. But this one right here is probably their biggest classic. Although Protectors of the Layer does get 90%. That's not bad. Yeah, Flight of the Griffin. 85%. This guy just put Armored Saint North. Whatever. Killer Power Metal from the old days, 85%. Pioneering Classic US Metal, 97%. Wow, nice fucking power metal. Sorry, kids. 77%. I try not to curse on here unless I'm just reading something. Um, so yeah, cool band. Definitely worth checking out. Um, Next, freaking Chastain. David T. Chastain, the guitarist, has been a busy guy in his career. But I pulled out because he's got several different bands under different names. I mean, there's Chastain, there's David T. Chastain, which is more of a solo project. There's CJSS. I mean, he's just done a lot of stuff. But I think my favorite of all his projects is just Chastain, especially with Leather Leone on vocals. She's one of the best female vocalists ever. Just awesome. She's absolute fire when she sings. Um, this is probably their best album, but I like about everything I've ever heard by Chastain. There's some later albums I don't have. They ended up with another singer called named Kate French that is actually pretty equal to Leather. She's pretty good. But she does some other stuff. I think she's in a band called like Vainglory or whatever. And Leather Leone has a side project, a solo project of her own, just called Leather. Good stuff there, worth checking out. Which reminds me, there's a Leather CD that she came out with recently. I need to get. So, but yeah, this one's called Voice of the Cult. Man, I love everything about this album. Just cool production, great guitar work, amazing vocals. I'll go ahead and look them up, even though I know this band's what I put Chain Stain. How did I do that? Okay. Chain Stain. I can't believe, and they're from Cincinnati, Ohio, which is bizarre because that's really, really close to me. I live like 20 minutes from Cincinnati. So, formed in 1984, heavy power metal, their lyrical themes, dark fantasy, life, metal. Let's see here. So the albums that I have are Mystery of Illusion, Ruler of the Wasteland, The Seventh of Never, The Voice of the Cult, For Those Who Dare, In Dementia, We Bleed Metal, and Surrender to No One. It's the only ones I actually own. But yeah, all of them, I could definitely speak for all the ones that I have are really good. The classic era, though, are like their first five: Mystery of Illusion, Ruler of the Wasteland, The Seventh and Never, Voice of the Cult, and For Those Who Dare. I would definitely say that's their golden classic era, but everything I've heard has been good so far. So if you go listen to an album that I haven't mentioned and it sucks, don't shoot the messenger. I'm telling you, I'm just telling you what I know. But yeah, if you want to hear some like really good guitar work, like David Chastain is a phenomenal, virtuoso shredder type of guitarist. He's absolutely amazing. I definitely would check them out as soon as possible. One of the best US power metal bands that actually has a pretty big catalog as well. So next, there's this little tiny band called Jag Panzer. I'm sure you've probably heard of them, but I'll throw them on here because they're worth talking about. Jag Panzer, I'll take the slip sleeve off so you can see the album cover and its full glory. But Jag Panzer started off, they released this album, I believe, in 1984 called Ample Destruction. A lot of people regard this as a super classic, but honestly, I would say every Jag Panzer album, with the exception of one that they did in like the mid 90s, I would say they're all good except for one album. They kind of had like a Saint Anger, in my opinion, but only one. But the rest of their stuff's really, really good. I mean, honestly, I can't find any flaws. They're one of those bands that are so consistent, it's almost annoying, because when I talk about a band, it's always fun to like mention, something about it that's different, but they're all so good in such a similar way. Like it's just like it's hard to talk about. Let's see. Get some straight up info here. They're from Colorado Springs, Colorado. Heavy power metal. Accurate. Lyrical themes: destruction, metal, dark fantasy, warfare, literature, Shakespeare, and ninjas. They do have a ninja song. They were formed in 1981. Something very noticeable here. They've always had, well, the exception of, okay, their one bad album is called Dissident Alliance, came out in 1994, and it only gets 19% out of 3 reviews. Stay clear of that, guys. That album sucks. But Ample Destruction is a classic. 11 reviews, 95%. So that goes to show you that's really good. And then like the rest of their stuff: The Fourth Judgment, The Age of Mastery, Thane to the Throne, Mechanized Warfare, Chain of Command, Casting the Stones, The Scourge of the Light, The Deviant Chord. And they just released an album this year called The Hallowed, which also gets a 95% on here. So Jag Panzer's a great band. I mean, they really just don't let you down. So Ample Destruction. Let me just read the reviews, how highly regarded this album is, and it is really good. Their singer, their main singer, they've had a couple others for like one-off albums, but their main singer, Harry Conklin, is fantastic. And he also sang for a couple other bands, but I think Jag Panzer's pretty well his main thing. So the first review: power metal, metal power, 95%. Destroys virtually everything else, 100%. Wow. No Mercy for the Weak, 99%. Jag, sorry kids, fucking Panzer, 96%. A Candle That Would Burn Out All Too Quickly, 93%. Mm, I don't know about that. Cause I like all their albums really. Harry Conklin is the savior here, 79%. Yeah, I don't know, man. I like the guitar work on there. I don't know about that. Um, a sadly forgotten gem in heavy metal history, 90%. A shining example of what metal is, 97%. Absolutely. A timeless classic for the ages, 100%. Gosh, 100% just destroys everything. It's in the title, 100%. Feel the power surge, 94%. I think you guys get it. it's it's a classic. Even if you don't like anything else, if it's too regular power metal for you in the 90s and 2000s, like you're gonna like this, man. If you like 80s metal in general, you're gonna dig this. Like I highly doubt you would have any issue with it. So yeah, there's 5 absolutely amazing albums slash bands, but that you got to check out for classic 80s US power metal. But yeah, that's really all I got to say. That's mainly what this video is about. So I'll just remind you guys, if you like this video, like, subscribe, tell your friends. The more you like and interact in the comments, the more this spreads out to other people. And I'm just noticing the numbers growing. I mean, I'm not at a high number yet, but it's getting bigger and bigger, like without really me doing anything now. So that's a good sign. So I'm hoping it's just going to keep going in that trajectory. But if you like this video, as I said, like, subscribe, stay metal, and until next time, see ya.